What's up, y'all? Shook here, back with another video on the Holy Paladin, doing some 2v2 with Plum on his Death Knight. This is the build that I was running for these matches. I did drop Blessed Focus, and I kept Tyrion's Devotion in almost all of them. We went 7-3 on this session, and I ran Divine Plea in every single game, which is not typical, but I kept just running in a lot of them, even with getting drinks off. I would swap out Ultimate Sacrifice for Searing Glare and Denounce randomly, but these are the main three PvP talents that I took most of the time. With that being said, that's all I have to say about the build, so let's get into the matches. So this first match is against a Demon Hunter and a Disc Priest. Kind of a common matchup that we would see. We'd see Demon Hunter and Resto Druid, and then Demon Hunter and Disc Priest. And right here, Plum's just going to try and peel a little bit. I'm going to try and take him behind here and hodge him. Plum's going to grip him out. He really wants to go for me, which is, kind of common for all the Demon Hunters. You're going to be the kill target if you're the Holy Paladin. Our MMR for starting this session was about 2130, and we ended at 2250. And we did get the 2100 enchant and, the 2100 achievement and unlock the enchant and whatnot. I will say probably our toughest matches were some of the Demon Hunter matches. I don't know what that kick was there, but he gave me precog, and I'm going to go ahead and hodge the Priest. He does reverse it and put the hodge back on me. I still have blind available, and a lot of times I'm going to want to save it for the Demon Hunter. You can see he's running that undispellable banish there. So right here I do get Mind Games on me, and you can see the Divine Plea running. We're already running way behind on mana, so I'm going to walk back here and drink. With that Divine Plea going, I'm going to get back quite a bit of mana, and we're going to get back even with the Disc Priest. And then I'm going to walk out here and pick up Plum. I kind of want to combine Barrier of Faith with Daybreak almost every single time, especially when you're running Divine Plea. Right here, we gave the Disc Priest precog. He juked there. Again, this was kind of first match of the session, so kind of a warm-up. Or this might have been the second match. I'm not sure. Plum does get the double blind there, which is really good. Again, I'm going to just keep drinking. We will win eventually in dampening if we make it there, just because Plum can do a lot of CC, and if we get our chain set up, we can probably take out the Demon Hunter. It is going to be really, really sketchy though, because Demon Hunters do a ton of damage, and he's going to want to take me down, and the Priest can MD my bubble. Realistically, I want to use Lay on Hands early, but we're already at 44% dampening, so I probably should have already used it. At this point, when I do decide to use Lay on Hands, it's basically going to be for like 5% mana, which is, not great. So I want to make sure it's not at a time where Forbearance is going to matter. They do purge off the Blessing of Protection, so Plum gets the little buff after it, which he takes reduced damage for a little bit. A lot of the Demon Hunter's damage is chaos damage, so I'm not really worried about them dispelling off Blessing of Protection. Right here, I'm just going to drink out in the open. I'm going to get back a lot of mana. I am running Ultimate Sacrifice in this one, so I can pretty much always save Plum. Like, as long as he's in my line, I can almost always save him. So right there, I did sack him before the banish, and since he's running the Undispellable Banish, neither one of us are going to take any damage, and Plum's basically immune in that time frame. So kind of a good reason to run Ultimate Sacrifice in some of these. Really, you don't want to run Ultimate Sacrifice versus like casters and stuff like that, because you want your sack to be longer, and you're not really worried about saving people in the kind of burst damage window, so to speak. I don't know. It's a kind of a case-by-case basis. So right here, they stun Plum. I am going to dispel him. He's rooted. I don't have Blessing of Freedom available. I came back over here to try and help Plum get pressure, but you can see just how quickly he took me down, so I did have to bubble there. I do run in and hodge the Disc Priest. Plum is getting a lot of pressure on him. I have no bubble at this point, so we have to be really scared. I did think we were going to get the kill on the Disc there, so I was playing really aggressive. Unfortunate, he is able to stabilize here. So now is where it gets really, really spooky. I'm going to call out here in a second that I need Plum to grip this guy off of me. I'm seeing if I can juke him, so I do juke him there, and then I'm spamming both Flash of Lights with my Infusion of Light procs, and I'm still not able to pick myself up. So I call out for him to grip him off, and he grips him off again. So there I'm able to kind of stabilize. The Disc Priest swaps the Demon Hunter there, and the Demon Hunter pops Darkness. We are winning on mana at this point, which is really, really good. I'm going to hodge the Demon Hunter behind here. He can't get out of that for a second. I do get stunned. Right here, I should have probably used my blind, even though it was going to be slightly DR'd. I think it would have been worth it. He kicks me around the corner there, which I was a little bit upset about that one. So right there, it gets really, really sketchy. I do get stunned on my Blessing of Freedom. Plum pops the AMZ, and so I go in here and stand on it. He gets the double blind, and it looks like the Demon Hunter like immediately triggers. I'm going to blind the Priest off that blind. We overlapped the stun, but we do get the kill there. So again, really tough matchup for us, and I was pretty happy with that one. That and Resto Druid, which Resto Druid is just a really good healer. This one is an Assassination Rogue and a Disc Priest. Realistically, they're going to want to go for me almost every single time. This isn't like a common matchup. Like, I don't really see a lot of Assassination Rogues in twos, just because Subtlety is so much better. But that's kind of why I put this one in here. Kind of an interesting matchup, and they are going to want to go for me like the entire time. Really, the Assassination Rogue is going to want to put dots up on both of us. Right there, I juked him, got precog, and I'm able to just kind of top myself. As long as he focuses me and I can keep Barrier of Faith on me, I'm not really worried about him taking me down, because I do have the Blessings of Protection, I have Bubble available, and I'm probably going to use Bop first. And what you're kind of going to want to watch for is that, I think it's called Mark for Death. You'll see it on my portrait frame here in a little bit, and what it does is it like doubles any kind of bleeds that he puts on me during the duration of that debuff. So you're going to want to use Blessing of Protection when he does use that. I'm not quite sure what the cooldown on it is. I think it's 1.5 to 2 minutes, something like that. So definitely it's a pretty major cooldown. So right here, I do want to go ahead and put Barrier of Faith on myself. I'm not sure why I haven't done that yet. He does use Cloak, because all he wants to do is get to me. Right there, I did use Blessing of Protection, and I'm out of LOS of the Priest. Plum does get Fear, but I'm not going to walk back out to try and dispel him just yet, because I want to get as much value out of that Blessing of Protection as I can. I do get stunned here full, so go ahead and Trinket it since it's off DR. And Rogue's just trying to get to me. I'm going to cast Tears Deliverance because Plum gripped him away and stunned him. And you can see on my portrait frame right there, that's the debuff that I'm talking about, that Mark for Death. So I was a little trigger happy on that bop. Probably should have waited to use it for that, which is, again, that might have been why he went ahead and did it, because I didn't have Blessing of Protection available. I do have Wall available, and remember, I can always save Plum in these situations, so I am running Ultimate Sacrifice in this one again, just because you can get in a situation where, you know, Smoke Bomb or whatever, and you may need to be able to provide immunity for your teammate. Right here, we are definitely winning on mana, but, you know, the deeper we go into dampening, it'll probably even out. I'm trying to just take advantage of my Infusion of Light procs as best as I can. Like right here, I'm not getting any, which is unfortunate, but we're still pretty high on mana. And I'm also trying to save my Hand of Sacrifice for that specific moment that I was talking about. Like right there, I could have used it to kind of mitigate damage, but then if he gets us both dotted up, then I'm essentially taking double damage, and you can see how he's going to swap to me now. Don't have Trinket available. I do use my second Blessing of Protection there, and I dispel Plum. He goes and stuns Plum, and so I have Bubble available. I don't know. I'm not super happy on that Blessing of Protection, because now the only way, like if he sits here and wants to tunnel into Plum, then the only way we can save him is with Hand of Sacrifice. And they can CC me really well. So kind of questionable on that bop, whether I should have just gone ahead and bubbled. I do use Lay on Hands just for the mana purposes, and you can see just how much mana I have burned. Once you get over 50% dampening, you're going to burn a ton of mana really fast. I do go ahead and hodge the Rogue, since the Priest is CC'd behind there. You can't really dispel him. The Priest trinkets Strangulate. We do get the kick on him, on his Guardian, which is really, really good. I accidentally walked into the eyeball. Not good at all. So I'm going to be taking increased damage for a few seconds. Plum grips the Rogue off and then stuns him. I don't have any kind of CC for the rogue. I'm trying to give Plum the Blessing of Summer. Got tongue-tied there. The priest actually MD'd me while he was in spirit form, which, I mean, whatever. Not really worried about at the moment me dying. We have 1 minute and 8 seconds coming back up on Blessing of Protection. The rogue is in really, really big trouble here. And it looks like we're going to be okay. Plum does get the blind. I'm coming to hodge the priest off the blind. Plum stuns the rogue, and it looks like the rogue used his either Night Elf Racial. It didn't look like he vanished there, but maybe he did. So right here, we're just getting all the pressure. We do cheat death. Barrier of Faith is coming up. He disarms Plum, and the priest is coming to fear me. So this is kind of that scenario that I was talking about, where we want to be able to save Plum, and we do have Hand of Sacrifice still available, still holding it. I'm going to give Plum freedom here in just a second because the rogue's just trying to kite him and slow him. He's running around the corner with Guardian up. But the priest looks like he's completely so he actually can't really heal him. So soon as that Guardian fades, it's going to be game over, and there goes the Guardian, and now Plum is just going to be able to take down the rogue. I am going to use Hand of Sacrifice, and the rogue does go down. But yeah, those are some of the games from the Q session. I'm going to do a part 2 of this Q session later in the week, and then I'll include like the games where we actually hit 2100. But I hope you guys enjoyed these games. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, all that jazz. Helps me out a ton. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.